So guys, today I uploaded a video of the current champion, Mr. Olympia, Heath. He's the Mr. Olympia for the last 5 years, 5 times Mr. Olympia since 2011. And I just wanted to talk about his pathway from 2011 to today. So let us begin with the start of his reign, 2011. A lot of people forget that Heath looked amazing, especially 2011 and 2012. The start of his reign. He didn't got the Olympia title for no reason. He has the perfect size. He's not too big, or he was not too big. His gut wasn't sticking out nowhere. When you look at the footage, and back then I watched the Olympia live, of course the live stream, because I live in Germany. As distended guts was not a huge topic, not that big like today at least. And Heath, he had his waist under control completely. Great shape, great conditioning, no real weak points. Amazing. So only his chest, maybe because of his crazy big coconut sized shoulders, neck, back, things like that. Okay? A lot of black guys have bad calves, but look at Heath's calves, great calves. Again, a picture from that time period, 2011, that too. And here, it's 1 year after, 2012. Amazing again. Look at his glutes, calves, back, most muscular, the crab pose, the general most muscular pose, striations, the quads looked amazing. Maybe the hamstrings weren't the best hamstrings there are, but overall, great. Then I want to talk about the current Mr. Olympia Heath, at least the pictures of the Mr. Olympia 2015, because he only does the Mr. Olympia, so he only competes 1 time a year. And I wanted to make comparisons. When you would show these pictures to a guy who doesn't know the persons but is into bodybuilding, who would they pick? They would maybe pick Heath, right? But they would maybe pick Sean, Dexter, or Dennis, because it's not that clear anymore. Okay? Conditioning isn't 2011 level, and his improvements and things like that, he's not a guy that can't be beaten. That's very important. He's not somebody like Ronnie Coleman 2003 level right now, so he can be beaten. Different poses I will show you, like this front lat spread. Sean has a slimmer waist, Dexter too, and Dennis is like Heath level. His quads are not the biggest, his quads are great, arms are great, his shoulder are a little bit, the width, he's not the widest guy. This pose is probably one of the best poses of Heath. Great legs, things like that. His hamstrings, he may be improved size-wise, or probably improved size-wise, but Dennis Wolf, for example, has better hamstrings. Back, same as the other poses, he looks great, but he's not unbeatable. He's not like something that when you look at pictures of the last year's Mr. Olympia, you clearly say this guy has to win and no other. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. Back, not the widest. Sorry for the fucking cold. Every time when I make a video I get interrupted, but fuck it, I will put this video online. I hope YouTube doesn't fucks me up because of that little ringtone. And different poses again. Not unbeatable. That's the whole thing about this. This is 2011 again. And this is a time span. They compare him from 2011 to 2015. Pretty interesting. And like I said, this were his best years for me. Especially his first Olympia was really great. A lot of people forget it, but he didn't get the Olympia for no reason, like I said in the beginning. Look at his reps, legs, clear separations, great conditioning. You always had a waist that was clearly under control, and he doesn't look, last year didn't look like he fucked it up completely, but he didn't look better than his first Olympia for me, obviously, or 2012. So he didn't get really better. That's my opinion. And then we had some issues starting with his gut. Like you see, the pregnant belly, distended gut. A lot of people talked about it. For example, Lee Priest. I like Lee a lot. Greetings out to Lee Priest, or Priest, how you call it. So the guy who was known for his aesthetics, 3D look, had some issues with his gut. People complained on Facebook, he answered, but I can't read it. And some other poses and comparisons. One of his best poses, front double biceps. I mean, look at 2011. You don't have to love Phil Heath, but he deserved the title, man. And Kai looked great too, but this is not a Phil and Kai comparison. This is a Phil transformation video, okay? And when you look at 2014, we don't have the 2015 pics. It's like, it's like this should be 2011 and this 2014, right? Then we have comparisons again. But these were his best years for me, okay? Again, 2012, greatness. Again, 2012, like I said, greatness. Then, I want to talk to you about the reasons maybe why he wanted to play the size game. There was a competitor, his biggest rival in the game, who didn't won the title yet to this day and will not compete this year, Kai Green. I think he wanted to outmass Phil Heath and wanted to win because he was obviously more massive than Phil Heath in the later years, like 2013, 14, okay? So I think Phil got a little bit, nervous and said, man, I have to have the same size as Kai Green, and his conditioning suffered under that. And I think that was a bad move. All the mass thing that fucked up Kai Green for a long time, that made Phil worse, that made them have sticking out guts, especially Kai. He had a belly like an 8 months pregnant woman. They raised, got bigger, and they muscle wise and quality wise they didn't really get better. They only got worse. So more isn't always better. The weight on the scale, when you're 270 and 1 year you are 280, it doesn't mean that the year you were 280 was a better year, bodybuilding wise. And look at that, okay, in the later years, and look at that in the beginning of his reign and of the comparisons. They look like different persons. They looked really good. Phil Heath and Kai Green. They look better than they look now, for me, in my eyes. So I think it goes more back to the aesthetics nowadays. We have a lot of people who are known for their aesthetics rather than for the size, like Dexter Jackson, Sean Roden, Dennis Wolf doesn't compete this year, I think. Cedric McMillan, Kevin Leroney this year, guys like that. Phil Heath, I hope again. The only one I think who could or who is outmassing them all is Big Ramy, of course, but he doesn't. Last year he doesn't got second or so. He got sixth, and he has to be sorry man, I fuck up totally. Way more conditioned to get a higher spot. And this year we have pictures too. Of course, these are no contest pictures. Don't get me wrong, I know that. These are pictures from a guest posing 2016. And I want to tell you right from the beginning, Phil doesn't look that impressive and never did look very impressive when he posed in the off season. Look at videos and pictures of his beginning and now. He always looked way more impressive in contest shape, way more. The better he was conditioned, the better he looked. So 2011 to 2012, he looked crazy. 3D look on his highest. There are some guys like Ruli Winkler, for example, they look more impressive in the off season. That's the point I want to make. So don't say these pictures are so bad that he will totally lose. But I have to admit, the pictures itself, they don't look that impressive, right? And I think Phil Heath is a guy that maybe grows a little bit into the contest too, like Kevin Leroney, who's making a comeback this year. A shout out to Kevin Leroney again, who commented on my last video. It was an honor. Not only mention me in the live stream, but also commenting my video. It was great. I live in Germany, and when I woke up, it was 5 a.m. I saw the comment and I couldn't sleep again. You have to know he's one of my idols in bodybuilding, all-time favorites, especially his earlier years, in the 90s. But that's not the topic right now. Point is, the pictures are not, they don't speak so much that we right now could tell, okay, he will lose, or okay, he will win. So we have to stay curious, we have to stay tuned, and if you want to listen to me in the future, please subscribe me. Of course, it's free. My base is growing. I like that, and it's motivating me to keep continue, because the people who are commenting, liking, and even constructive critics are the reason why I make these videos. Love you all. Have a nice day.